A shout out Tony Romo here at Giant Stadium, and a happy Veterans Day to all. A look at Eli Manning before this big matchup in the NFC East. Welcome to football on Fox. Second half of a big day. The Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Joe Buck. Troy Aikman is coming right up. What's it going to be at the end of the day? For the Dallas Cowboys, it could be a two-game advantage in the NFC East with a win here. For the New York Giants, they're trying to stay hot and get into a tie atop the division with a win for Tom Coughlin over Dallas. And that's what we'll start with, Troy, and we'll talk about this Giants team. These two teams met in week one down in Dallas. 80 total points. It was a heavyweight fight and a lot of points on the board, but both teams believe they're better than they were in week one, especially the Giants, who try to stay hot.
Yeah, and I think for the Giants, where they feel that they are much better is on the defensive side of the ball, and I would agree with that. During this 6-game win streak, they have been outstanding, but I will also say that of those 6 teams that they beat, no one has the offensive firepower that they're going to see today again with the Dallas Cowboys. And so how well are they able to hold up? And, you know, I think that how they play today is going to help validate what they've done up to this point. And then when you talk about validation, I think this is an opportunity for Eli Manning to show what he's capable of doing in a big game. I think there's a lot of people within this organization and Giants fans that want to see Eli Manning take it to the next step in a meaningful football game.
Wade Phillips and the Dallas Cowboys, first year as head coach in Dallas for Wade, and it could not have gotten off to a better start. 7-1. If the Cowboys and their fans have paid attention to the earlier scores, they have seen what Green Bay did at home to Minnesota. The Packers are now 8-1. Dallas trying to match them, and for the Giants, is it going to be 7 straight? Glad you're with us on Fox. Miles Austin from about the 9. Good start for Dallas as Austin is across the 35. And that's where the Cowboys will begin with it. They're going to mark Austin down at the 35-yard line, and that's where Tony Romo, who did this to the Giants in week one, 15 out of 24, 345 yards, 4 touchdowns. And here he is trying to validate, as he did last week against Philadelphia, that big fat new contract that he signed. 13-5 as a starter in the NFL. Julius Jones gets it on the first play from scrimmage and bounces. Julius Jones knocked down by Ross at the 45-yard line of the Giants. A 20-yard run right out of the gate for Julius Jones.
And a nice job there by Jason Witten. He goes in motion, and as you're going to see, he comes in, and Julius Jones gets in behind that block of his that allows him then to get out onto the corner. He seals off Matthias Kiwanuka, which was the block that sprung Julius Jones to the edge.
On first down, Romo sets up, incomplete. In and out of the hands of Terrell Owens, and Sam Madison made the play for the Giants. And how about Troy, when Romo was audibling at the line, Antonio Pierce was right across from him, imploring this crowd to make some noise and bother Tony Romo.
Well, there's no question, Joe, that this crowd is into this game right from the start. And that certainly is going to affect what Tony Romo then is able to do at the line of scrimmage in terms of protection calls and then also changing the plays.
Romo just gets it away, fires, completes. Hurd on the reception, first down Dallas. 12-yard completion from Tony Romo.
New York Giants on that last play trying to give a little bit different look. One of the things that that they have done a much better job of during this 6-game win streak is disguising their coverages a little bit better than what they did earlier in the year. That time, however, Tony Romo able to find the one-on-one matchup on the outside to Hurd.
Julius Jones, who already has one big run for 20 yards on first down, carries it for 8. Jabril Wilson on the tackle. We just had an audience join us, and this is right out of the gate. Good field position to start as Miles Austin returned it to his own 35. A 20-yard run by Julius Jones. Jason Garrett, the offensive coordinator, having a terrific first year calling the plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Former backup quarterback here with the Giants. The completion to Sam Hurd. Another run by Julius Jones. 2nd and 2. Romo fires, wide open Terrell Owens. And another first down for the Cowboys as Owens is ridden out. They'll mark T.O. at the 15-yard line.
Well, you're just seeing the respect right now that they're paying Terrell Owens on the outside. Sam Madison in coverage, expecting Terrell Owens to keep on running, and that's one of the advantages when you've got the kind of speed that Terrell Owens has. It's then very difficult for corners to come up and press you and play tight coverage with the fear of you being able to run by him. We've seen that already a couple of times on this possession.
Romo hands to Jones, and this time Julius Jones goes down quick, no gain. Barry Cofield, the first one to get his hands on him, and we update the NFC East. Dallas on top, the Giants behind him, and now with that win by Philly, may have saved their season as they win in Washington. Redskins 5-4, and they have a matchup next Sunday at Dallas. Steve Spagnuolo, first-year coordinator for the Giants, and it has not been a good first series for his defense. On 2nd and 10, Romo trying to make a play, fires wide open, touchdown. Touchdown to Tony Curtis. Tony Romo making plays with his feet, and if you ask Steve Spagnuolo, he'll tell you he scrambles to throw, and he found a wide open Tony Curtis.
Well, and you saw him duck there right before he let it go to Curtis. He thought he was getting ready to get hit. Here's how Curtis got open. They just completely bust the coverage. Nobody went with him at all when he came off the line of the scrimmage and then went into the corner of the end zone. Tony Romo, an athletic guy, started to duck and go down and saw Curtis at the last minute.
Tony Romo came awfully close to crossing the line of scrimmage when he let that pass go. It wasn't pretty as it flew through the air, but Curtis was waiting for it, left all alone. Quick strike Cowboys up by 7.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines' convenient nonstop flights, it's like having your own company plane.
Cowboys have been getting better as the season has gone on, striking early, and this is the 3rd straight game. They've had an opening drive touchdown. Tony Romo finding Tony Curtis, who has 3 catches all year, 3 touchdowns. So he's making them count. Short kick. On a dead sprint, Ruben Drones takes it. And decent starting field position for the Giants, who are down by 7. Tony Romo took the hit. Tony Curtis caught the flutter ball in the end zone. And the Cowboys lead by 7. Dallas Cowboys went to work, and for a Cowboy team that's 7-1 for the first time since 1995, that's the last year Cowboys won the Super Bowl. They lead here early, and Brandon Jacobs carries over the right side. Good blocking out in front of him, and the back All 6'4", 264 pounds, pushes the pile, good for 9. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Hey, Joe, this game is for more than just validation for some New York Giants. In fact, OCU Manura told me before the game that this game is for everything. I said, everything? He said, sure, they beat us badly last time, and we have a lot to prove. Amani Toomer put it this way. He said, we've had a bad taste lingering in our mouths for a very long time, and we want it gone. Back to you.
All right, yeah, that was a game where the Giants had no problems putting up points, but their defense got rolled over by the Cowboys. 2nd and 1. Manning's first throw to Burris. Came back with a catch and has a first down for the Giants. Completion of 11 yards. And the ball's inside Dallas territory.
You know, Plexico Burris was finally able to get some work on the practice field on Wednesday. Normally he does not practice at all, but he does a nice job here of coming back to the football. It was a ball that was thrown a little bit behind him, but Plexico able, as he was working down the sideline, to come back to the football and make the reception before Terrence Newman was able to make a play on the ball.
Fires to Shockey. A good open field tackle by Roy Williams, a gain of 4.
That's one of the things they were able to take advantage of in the first matchup there, Joe, is go to a slot receiver set and then split out Jeremy Shockey. And when they do that, the Cowboys will go corners over with the wide receivers, and then it forces Roy Williams to be matched up with Shockey in coverage. They were able to make some plays on that formation in week 1, and they're hoping to be able to do some of that again tonight.
Toss to Jacobs. And Brandon gets back to the line of scrimmage. Brandon Jacobs was injured early in the first meeting, a sprained MCL in his right knee. Left early second quarter, then Derek Ward took over. Now Jacobs is back. He was the NFC's Offensive Player of the Month with the kind of October that he had. Here's what he's done his last 4 games. And what the big point of it all is that this Giants offensive line does not get the credit it deserves for what it did for Tiki Barber and what it's doing this year for Jacobs and Ward. They're good. 3rd and 6. Play clock was expiring. The Giants take a timeout. 3rd down and 6 for New York. When we come back, as they trail by 7. 3rd down and 6 for the Giants, who were confused on the offensive line with the defense they were looking at prior to the timeout. DeMarcus Ware, who's now on the end, was lined up over the nose of the center, Sean O'Hara. Spencer came across, the rookie for Dallas. That forced the movement.
Neutral zone infraction, number 93 of the defense. A 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
3rd down and 1 now instead of 3rd down and 6. That's a big penalty against Anthony Spencer.
Yeah, that's a good call, too, by the official, because Anthony Spencer definitely got into the neutral zone, which then created McKenzie coming out of his stance. So a good call by the official, and you're right. I mean, so many times in a big game it comes down to 3rd down. It's 3rd and 1, obviously much easier to convert than 3rd and 6.
3rd best team in the NFC on 3rd down to the Giants. They did it again. That could be the easiest first down in the history of the NFL.
Well, and it looked like, now the Cowboys are saying that
Number 99 in the defense. 5-yard penalty. Results in a 1st down.
That was Chris Canty.
Yeah, and another good job by Eli Manning. It appears that he's using some hard count. And when you're playing against the defense, I actually thought it was right here, which is where it was. They got the wrong guy initially. It was Jay Ratliff who was over the center, but Eli Manning apparently using hard count down there. And when you're playing a defense that can get pressure on the quarterback like the Cowboys can, you have to be able to use that to your advantage.
10 free yards thanks to the voice inflection of Eli Manning. who completes to Plexico Burris. And Burris on first down picks up 7. And now a late hit as Brandon Jacobs ended up on his back, and a flag comes down. That was well after the play was over, and looking down, Brandon Jacobs was knocked flat on his back.
Well, I'll tell you, Jacobs actually was the first guy who got the hit right
after
there.
The play is over. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 56 on the defense. Shoves the player to the ground after the play is over. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
That's Brady James. They were slapping each other on the helmet, and then James barely touched him, and Brandon Jacobs did some great acting and fell down.
Yeah, and Brandon Jacobs was the one who actually initiated the contact very late after the play had concluded. And then coming back to the huddle is when Brady James pushed him.
Cowboys have been penalized on 3 straight plays as Jacobs gets it down to the 9. I want to go back, Troy, and talk about what we said earlier with this offensive line. It doesn't get the credit it deserves. Last year with Tiki Barber predominantly as the main running back, the Giants averaged 134.8 yards rushing per game. This year, even better at 138. And that's with a combination of Brandon Jacobs and Derek Ward. This is a good group.
Yeah, and I think because that they're doing it now with a different group of running backs as opposed to Tiki Barber, that this line is finally getting the credit that they probably deserve for a number of years.
2nd down and 5. Jacobs off the edge, and a good tackle is made by Ware. A gain of only 1. 3rd down coming up.
You know, there's no question, Joe, that this New York Giants team has been built around good defense and running the football here over the last 6 weeks. And as you said, Brandon Jacobs has done a great job of that. Derek Ward, during that time that Jacobs was down. But so many times when a team is running the ball well, everyone talks about what great runners there are, and Tiki Barber obviously fit into that mold. But now, because they're doing it with some other guys, this offensive line is getting the recognition that they deserve.
3rd and 4, end zone, touchdown, Shockey.
Well, here it is. He split out Jeremy Shockey, as I talked about a little bit earlier, one-on-one, but good ball placement right there by Eli Manning. Actually, not bad coverage by Roy Williams. He's expecting the ball to be thrown to the inside. Eli sees that Williams is shaded to the inside, throws it to Shockey's outside for the touchdown.
A 7-7 game is the Giants' answer. Cowboys went right down the field, put up 7. Eli Manning and company back to the other end. Shockey, the touchdown at 7-7. Jeremy Shockey gets his 3rd touchdown of the season. Eli Manning connects for his 14th to go with his 9 interceptions. Since 05, Eli Manning with 62 touchdown passes. 5th highest total in the NFL. Line drive kick, and on a hop, it's Nathan Jones. Isaiah Stanback, who returned kicks last week against Philadelphia, inactive today with a bad shoulder. Well, both teams thought that their defense was better than it was in the Week 1 matchup. With 664 passing yards combined, the most in the series since '85. 8 touchdown passes, most in the series since '62. And the 80 points, the most in the 90-game series history. And in this game this afternoon, it's been 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and both teams felt that coming into this game, it wouldn't be anything like Week 1 with all the offense because of the improvement by both of these teams' defenses. But, you know, here after 1 possession, I'm not so sure.
Starting at their own 33, the Cowboys pressure up the middle. Romo fires low, incomplete for Jason Witten. who tore up the Giants defense in that matchup. 6 catches, 116 yards, and a touchdown. And it was a baptism by fire, the first game at linebacker from Matthias Kiwanuka, running in circles with Witten in front of him.
Yeah, well, he was definitely lost in coverage. And, you combine what you said with, a new position, and now you're trying to cover someone in space, and then that guy you're trying to cover is one of the premier tight ends in football. Makes for an ugly thing.
Here's Marion Barber, first carry of the day. Picks up 3. First game break of the day. Here's Kurt.
This is one of the areas right here, Joe, and talking with Tom Coughlin. They got Dallas into a lot of 3rd and longs in that first game, but they couldn't get off the field. This is a critical down right here for the Giants.
All those defensive ends are along the defensive line for the Giants. The pressure, incomplete, and the rookie knocked it away. Aaron Ross. Aaron Ross is from Tyler, Texas. He grew up a Cowboys fan, and when he was the nickelback in week 1, he found himself starstruck playing across from Terrell Owens, who he was rooting for last year while he was in college at Texas. Said, I'm not going to be starstruck this week, and he made that play in front of T.O. there.
Yeah, that was a good play by the rookie. You're right. He was not awestruck on that play. Forces Dallas into a punt.
From McBriar, and McQuarters will stay away. So the Giants have it for the second time in this first quarter after a 38-yard punt. We're tied at 7. Second possession for the New York Giants, and it is the first opportunity for big number 66, Tank Johnson, who's over the nose in this 3-4 defense for Dallas. Play action on first down. Ware was coming off the edge. This one's for Shockey. What a pass. What a throw by Eli Manning. Dropped it in beautifully for a 22-yard completion.
Unbelievable. One of the best throws I've ever seen Eli Manning make. I mean, this ball is just right down the stovepipe to Jeremy Shockey. In between 2 defenders. You got Terrence Newman, who's coming up, but there was not a lot of places to put that football and to give Shockey a chance to catch it. Eli had a little time to maneuver in order to set his feet and deliver a great throw, and that he did.
Blitz coming from the Cowboys, and Jacobs takes it over the right side. He gets to midfield and is stopped. Let's talk about Eli. He's opened this game, a big one obviously for the Giants. And here at the start, he's 5 for 5, and he can really validate something to his teammates and his fans here today.
Yeah, I think so. He's been pretty hot and cold. I mean, he came off what was not a real good game a couple of weeks ago over there in London against Miami. And, last year in that big game against Chicago that they went on to lose, it was probably Eli's worst game of the season. And I just think there are people that are waiting to see how he will perform in a big, meaningful regular season contest.
Second down and 8. Brandon Jacobs, nowhere to go. Gets to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Third down and 8.
When you think back to that first game when they put up so many yards, obviously Eli Manning was a big reason for that because they threw the ball so effectively. And this is a big challenge for this Giants offense to continue to be able to run the football like they have over the last 6 weeks, because this Dallas defense is pretty stout against the run. And if they're going to be able to move the football and do some things, then clearly it's going to come on the arm of Eli Manning, as that first possession did.
Third and 8. Four-man rush. Manning steps up, throws an interception. Ken Hamlin picks it off for Dallas, and now picks his way through the Giants offense and returns it inside the New York 40. It looked like Manning got hit as he let that ball go. It floated on him, and after the interception, number 26 with a 26-yard return.
Yeah, we're going to see they come in at his feet, and when they do, right there with the right hip, I don't know if that's what kept him from being able to get through the throw, but a ball that clearly got away from him high. When you throw the ball high in that cover 2 defense, generally there's going to be a safety back there, as there was. Right there on the arm is what kept him from being able to deliver the football where he wanted.
So a touchdown throw, and now an interception, the 10th of the season for Eli Manning, and great field position for the Cowboys. From the Giants 39, Marion Barber, nothing. And it was Big Fred Robbins in the middle of it for the Giants, a gain of only 2.
You know, Dallas this season has had a lot of opportunities with the short field. They've had a number of possessions that have started on the opponent's side of the 50. And because Dallas is so explosive, they generally are able to take advantage of those opportunities and come away with touchdowns. It's going to be important here for the New York Giants to be able to step it up.
2nd down and 8. Pressure on Romo, who flips it for Barber. Tuck chasing. Barber lowers his shoulder and runs right over Madison, and a flag comes down. A gain of 4 on the completion, and we'll see who it's against over on the sideline after the play.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 43 in the defense. Hit the player after he's down by contact on the ground. Penalty, automatic first down.
That's the rookie Michael Johnson, who's starting to make a name for himself at safety for the Giants.
Yeah, they got the screen coming back to the left side, and you know, Marion Barber, he's not one of those running backs that's looking to run out of bounds, but he's on the ground there, and then there comes the hit by Michael Johnson. You know, sometimes when you're in a game like this and you're playing hard, it's hard to pull up, but in the official's opinion, he could have.
Barber again. Kiwanuka in on the stop, gain of 3. You know, there was a mandate handed down by the league to these referees and officials saying that illegal hits can and sometimes should result in a player ejection, which really heaps a lot on these officials as they're trying to determine intent and have the ability now to eject these players out of the game. 2nd down and 7. A blitz from the Giants. One-handed catch by Barber and a nice play by Jabril Wilson. Loss of 8.
You know, the Giants, they bring pressure. The Cowboys actually had a pretty good call up with the screen. If they're able to make one guy miss, Marion Barber actually would have been better off had he not have caught this. They lost yardage by him catching it, but a good tackle by Jabril Wilson. You know, when you run a screen versus man-to-man coverage, then the defender that's covering the man has got to be blocked. Jabril Wilson was not blocked, and that's why he was there to make the play as soon as Marion Barber made the catch.
Third down and 15, and Romo stripped to the football. Cowboys keep it, but it's 4th down. Justin Tuck was in on that play, the first one to get his hands on Tony Romo.
I tell you, Justin Tuck is having himself a heck of a season, and a great defensive stand there by the New York Giants.
Strahan in there, knocked it away. Cowboys maintain possession. 4th down when we come back. 7-7 after 1. It is a track meet defensively for the Giants on long 3rd down, typical passing plays, and Strahan and Tuck converge to make that last play. It'll be a 44-yard try for Folk. Good snap, good hold. And a good kick by the rookie Nick Folk. And so it's a 3-point Dallas lead. Opening seconds of the second quarter, and now We welcome you inside our booth, and, that's what Dallas just did on the heels of that Eli Manning interception. Now Manning's about to get it back, and we'll see how the Giants do offensively.
Yeah, and when you have a turnover like that, then the defense has to be able to step up and make a play and keep them from getting into the end zone. And it was a nice job there by the Giants defensively and only giving up a field goal. And when you're playing a team like the Cowboys, I can tell you that from an offensive standpoint, these Giants are going to feel a certain amount of pressure in order to try to match the scoring, because that the Dallas Cowboys can be so explosive. Now, they were able to do that, after Dallas went up 7-0 to match it 7-7. And we'll see what they're able to do now that Dallas has gone up by 3.
Folk kicks it away, and Reuben Drones will return it for the Giants. Reuben crosses the 25, wrestled down at the 27, and we'll give you some early game headliners. And there you go. Donovan McNabb and the Eagles came back to win the game at the Redskins, and that was a big one. Now 4-5 are the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, how about the 8-1 Green Bay Packers, who it seems have finally found their running game thanks to Ryan Grant and Torrey Holt for a Rams team that hung on and got their first win. Holt, coming off knee surgery, is having a very good year for St. Louis. From the Cowboys, Manning in trouble and backpedaling finds Shockey. Pretty strong throw going backward by Eli Manning. Bowen with some pressure and a gain of 4.
Yeah, Dallas decided to bring some pressure of their own, and they've done it a few times now. And watch this offensive line in the middle there. They do a good job of picking it up, and then they pick up Adele late with the back. But Eli Manning, once he starts retreating back to his left, it looked like he was just getting ready to throw it away, but he was able to find Shockey on the sideline for at least a little bit of a gain.
2nd down and 6. Quick setup and throw to Shockey on this side of the field. Jeremy Shockey with a lunge for a first down. Well, there was a lot of Jason Witten, Troy, for the Cowboys in the first meeting between these two teams, and obviously the Giants' approach here today is a lot of their tight end, Jeremy Shockey.
Well, a lot of their tight end, Jeremy Shockey, matched up on Roy Williams. It's going to be interesting to see if the Giants continue to do that. What changes and adjustment the Cowboys are going to put in order to keep that matchup from happening. Right now, the Giants clearly like what they see when they got Shockey on Roy Williams.
On first down, it's Brandon Jacobs, who is wrestled down from behind. Brady James on the tackle for the Cowboys. No gain.
Brady James, he has really turned into a heck of a football player here over the last several years. One of the real leaders of this team. And I know in talking with him, you saw him had a free run right there in the middle in order to be able to pick up the tackle on Brandon Jacobs. And he said the biggest difference for him in this system, as opposed to what he was doing under Bill Parcells, is that they cover up to the offensive guards, and so he does have more free runs sideline to sideline to be able to make more plays.
Blitz from the Cowboys again. James doesn't get home, and the pass too high for Burris. 3rd down and 10.
Well, that looked a lot like the first interception that Eli threw, where he stepped up in the pocket, had to move around a little bit to buy himself some time, had a chance, but then threw a high ball over the middle.
One of those 2 hits on Eli Manning, he had his right arm hit on the interception, led to the 3-point Dallas lead. It's now 3rd and 10. Four-man rush. DeMarcus Ware gets there. David Tyree trying to block, and that's not going to work. A loss of 14. It's 4th down.
Now here's DeMarcus Ware, and you know what happened was Dave Deal is the guy who's going to come out and take DeMarcus Ware, but then he got picked off by his own man. So he wasn't even able to get out on DeMarcus Ware. He won't have an easier sack than what he just had on that one.
Kyrie started that play in the backfield, going out in a route. The low snap fielded by Fiegels. And Patrick Creighton calls for the fair catch at the 35. So the Cowboys have the ball, a 3-point lead in this battle for the top spot in the NFC East.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the all-new Jeep Liberty, by Campbell's Chunky, official soup and chili sponsor of the NFL, by Citizen Echo Drive, fueled by life, it never needs a battery, unstoppable just like the people who wear it, and by Coors Light's cold-activated bottle. When the mountains turn blue, your beer is cold and ready for kickoff.
Eli Manning, Kevin Gilbride going over what the Giants are trying to do offensively. That last drive didn't go anywhere, and now the Cowboys start at their own 35, up 3. 1st and 15, Colombo.
False start. Number 75 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
We look ahead to next week's schedule. And these Dallas Cowboys will be featured at home, but that's only part of it. Week 11, the Giants and Lions, Panthers and Packers. See the other games listed. The Redskins at the Cowboys, the Rams and 49ers, Bears at Seahawks late next week. On 1st and 15, Romo with all day down the middle, picked off. Jabril Wilson with the interception, marked down at the 40. Stepped in front of Terrell Owens, and it's interception number 11 for Tony Romo.
Well, this is one thing that Tony Romo will do. He has such great confidence in his ability to put the ball exactly where he wants that he thought he could fit that one in between 2 defenders. He just underthrew it in a great play by Jabril Wilson.
3rd pick for Wilson. Giants take over. Giants defense comes up with 1. The interception by Jabril Wilson. Each quarterback has thrown an interception. Romo in his 19 starts has thrown 21 picks, 5 in one game this year at Buffalo. A win for the Cowboys. Quick throw to Burris, and out in space he makes a move. Gets around Jack Reeves and picks up 3.
You know, it's really interesting with Plexico Burris. We talked about it a little bit earlier, and most people know, certainly Giants fans know, that he doesn't practice during the week and actually didn't get a whole lot of work during training camp. And even though he got some work on Wednesday because they came off of the bye week last week, for all practical purposes, he didn't practice this week either. And yet, him and Eli, at some point you got to believe it's not going to continue, but him and Eli have still been on the same page and have still been very productive together.
Jacobs. Brandon Jacobs has a first down inside Dallas territory, gets 9.
But just a good job of getting a push up front by that offensive line. Tank Johnson, who's right in the middle. You're going to see them double team on him and get him moving. Anytime you got a defensive lineman who's got his back to the line of scrimmage, that bodes real well for picking up a lot of yards for an offense.
Pass complete to Burris. DeMarcus Ware almost got his hands up on that football. It went whizzing right by him at a gain of 4.
Yeah, you saw the same thing I did. He dropped underneath that, and I don't know that Eli really even saw him. He turns it loose, but, at that distance with the ball traveling that fast, he wasn't able to get his hands up just soon enough in order to make a play on that or at least knock it down.
Burris and Shockey with all 9 Giant receptions. 2nd down and 6. Brandon Jacobs, penalty flag on the play, and Jacobs goes backward, lost a 1.5 yards. But a flag is down.
He'll use the hands to the face. Number 66 in the defense. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Tank Johnson is guilty of the hands to the face. He signed a 2-year deal, Tank Johnson did, and there's the call as he got his hand up on the face mask and up underneath the center, Sean O'Hara. But Tank Johnson's playing in his first game since the Super Bowl in February, Super Bowl 41. Played for the Bears, and he was just reinstated after an 8-game suspension for violating the league's personal conduct policy.
And I think the question tonight is how long will he be able to play? How many snaps will he be able to give them? And even though he's been practicing with the team for 3 weeks, as you can tell, I mean, practicing and then being in game shape are two different things. He already looks to be pretty fatigued.
Been in for 8 plays so far. First down, Giants. Shockey. Nice catch on that low, hard throw. Wade Phillips is screaming, wanting a holding call. He's not going to get it. A gain of 5, and Shockey already has a season-high 6 catches in this first half.
Yeah, I like what they're doing already with Jeremy Shockey. I mean, when you talk about Plexico Burress, he's basically playing on one leg. You know, how much is he really going to be able to give you? Amani Toomer, more of a possession-type receiver. And I think the matchups, as we've already seen, favor Jeremy Shockey, and the way that they're getting him involved in this ball game. You know, this is what we grew accustomed to seeing much earlier in his career.
Toss to Jacobs. Picks up a yard. You know, while we were talking about Tank Johnson, what a lot of people forget is that the Dallas Cowboys started the season with a very good nose tackle in Jason Ferguson, who went down week 1 in the Giants game with a biceps injury, and so they've been trying to fill that void. Tank Johnson, the latest, to try and be one of the big bodies in the middle, but they missed Jason Ferguson.
Yeah, I think they do. I mean, they miss a guy with that kind of size. And, you know, Jay Ratliff then moved from defensive end to nose tackle. He's done a good job, but you know, you get an opportunity to bring in a guy like Tank Johnson, and that's what the Dallas Cowboys do. They'll take chances on those types of guys.
Hand off to Brandon Jacobs, and Jacobs is knocked down right at the marker. Looked to be enough for a first down. We will see where they spot it. It is a first down for New York.
You know, the other part of Jeremy Shockey that I don't think people talk enough about is the job that he does blocking. You see him right there lead the way for Brandon Jacobs, and again, it's Roy Williams is going to be getting tired of seeing Jeremy Shockey by the end of the day, whether that means him catching the ball or him blocking him as he did there.
First down, Giants. Amani Toomer, his first catch of the day to the 23-yard line of Dallas. 4-yard completion. Jock Reeves on the tackle for the Cowboys.
You know, Eli Manning right now, you can tell he's getting comfortable, and the Cowboys are one of those opponents. I know in talking with him that he said he just tends to feel pretty good about, and some of his better games have come against the Dallas Cowboys. Not that they've all been good, but I know the last couple of games that he's had against them, he's played well, and sometimes it just works out that way. And right now, he appears to be in a real comfort zone.
Hand off to Brandon Jacobs over the right side. Down to the 10.
And we showed Jeremy Shockey a little bit earlier and him getting involved in the run game. Watch Plexico Burress on the outside. And it's because of him right there on Jock Reeves, which allowed Brandon Jacobs then to get more yards than what he otherwise would have. You know, Jock Reeves might be thanking Plexico Burress on that one. I don't know at his size he wanted to take on Brandon Jacobs head on anyway.
9th play of the drive. First and goal, Jacobs. Doesn't go down easily. I like your assessment of Brandon Jacobs. You think about a guy who's 6'4", 264, is just a slug-it-out power back, but Eli Manning said he's got quick feet, and he really is a nifty back.
Yeah, I mean, you watch him, and you immediately start stereotyping guys. You see someone 265 pounds, you immediately say, wow, this guy's just a big bruiser. And that's why they used him so much early in his career as a short yardage goal line back. But, I mean, he's a tailback with great speed and really good feet. Can he move a pile? Absolutely. But don't underestimate what he's able to do out on the corner either.
Reuben Drones in there now. And on 2nd and goal, there is Shockey again. He's down to the 1. Caught it, took a big hit. It's 3rd and goal.
Well, no one's ever questioned Jeremy Shockey's toughness. You know, Eli, I think he knew right from the beginning where he was going. He was looking off coverage to the left and then immediately comes right back to Jeremy Shockey, knowing that he had the crossing route over the middle of the field. Now, Jeremy Shockey's got to be loving his involvement so far in this first half.
Guy Wimper on the end of the line to the right is an eligible receiver on 3rd and goal. It's Reuben Drones. Touchdown.
Well, they give it to Reuben Drones, the former fullback, and get in behind that offensive line. Sean O'Hara there in the middle. And he just barely got it across the line, but he did get it across.
An impressive drive. And an impressive half put together by Jeremy Shockey. Shockey's catching him. He's blocking. Drones pounded it in. And put a smile on Michael Strahan's face. That's a smile. Last 10 points have come off turnovers. 3 for the Cowboys after the Manning interception, and now 7 for the Giants after the Romo pick. Jabril Wilson did the honors for the Giants, and now Dallas about to get it back down by 4. Miles Austin on the return for the Cowboys. Chase Blackburn and Hickson on the stop, a 21-yard return. Shockey's all pumped up today, as are the Giants, who lead by 4. The Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, and the Coast Guard honored before today's game on Veterans Day. Those were the guys who conducted the flyovers with the F-18s prior to the start of this afternoon's game. First down, Dallas, and a handoff is to Julius Jones, back in at tailback. Broke free from 1 tackle and picked up 3. Jabril Wilson on the stop for the Giants. You know, the impressive part to Tony Romo's game on the field, he's got a heck of a game off the field too, evidently. But he's a guy who moves his feet, slides, makes plays, and according to the defensive coordinator for the Giants, Steve Spagnuolo, he scrambles to throw. He doesn't scramble to run. And Osi Umenyiora, defensive end, said, I don't care. I'm coming to get him. And if I bust contain and he gets outside me, I'll just chase him down from behind. 2nd and 7. There's Umenyiora coming, and he had help. A busted play. It's 3rd down. Loss of 2.
I'll tell you what, after that first possession of the Dallas Cowboys going down the field and coming away with the touchdown, this Giants defense has stiffened up. Playing with great emotion right now and doing a great job of covering the receivers and then getting in the running lanes and not giving up much room to run.
3rd and 9. Pressure on Romo and right to the hands of Terrell Owens. Dockery was out there for the Giants. Owens could not make the catch. It's 4th down.
Good job there by the Giants defensively of getting off the field. And we talked about it a little bit earlier, and Steve Spagnuolo discussed it. When we get them to 3rd and long, as we did in week 1, we've got to be able to get off the field. 3rd and long there, and they were able to get off.
McWhorter's waiting for the punt from McBriar, who hits a good one. And R.W. McWhorter breaks one tackle, another. Good return out across the 40. They'll mark him close to the 42. Penalty flag came in at the end of that return by R.W. McWhorter. .245 left in this half. Giants have the ball and 2 timeouts remaining. Here's the call from Jeff Triplett.
There is no foul on the play. 1st down.
You know, coming into this game, Joe, we just saw the discrepancy there in time of possession here in the first half. The Giants are 4th in the National Football League in controlling the clock offensively. Normally, they've done that with the running game. Today, they've done it with Eli Manning completing such a high percentage of balls.
Manning goes down. Brought down by Canty. That's his 2nd sack of the season. And it came at a great time for the Cowboys, a loss of 8.
Yeah, it did. And you're going to see Eli had time to be able to move and get rid of this ball. Right there, the clock's got to go off, and the ball's got to come out of his hand. So on 1st down, you go play action, trying to get something down the field, and to take a sack. It's a good defensive play for the Cowboys.
Dallas with all 3 of their timeouts remaining. They can take one defensively here depending on what happens on the play. Jacobs loses 2. And the Cowboys, I believe, got a timeout in before the 2-minute warning. They were attempting to call the timeout.
Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 3 seconds. 2 minutes, 3 seconds. Timeout, Dallas. They're first.
So Dallas has 2 timeouts remaining. They'll get a stop after this 3rd down play because of the 2-minute warning. So they'll have time to get down the field and make something happen here before the end of the half.
Yeah, and with it being 3rd and as long as what it is, I can't imagine the Giants even trying to throw the football here. They'll run it. Of course, they'll get the 2-minute warning then. But then Dallas, with 2 timeouts remaining, will have plenty of time to try to do something before the end of this half.
Saw that shot of Jason Witten on the sideline for the Cowboys. Something's changed from the first time these 2 teams met because they couldn't figure Witten out for the day that he put together in week 1, and so far he's been shut out in this half.
Yeah, that was a real focus, and as it should be. I think when you look at the Dallas Cowboys and what really drives this team outside of Tony Romo, I believe that it's Jason Witten.
It's 3rd down and 20. They will throw on 3rd and 20. No, they won't. As Manning takes a sack, Spencer rings him up, his 2nd of the season, the rookie and the #1 pick, 1st rounder from Purdue. And you have to wonder about that call.
Well, you got to wonder about Eli Manning not getting the ball out of his hand. I mean, you're giving up field position, if nothing else.
Loss of 13 on the sack and a punt when we come back. That was a pitiful drive by the Giants offense. They started with good field position at their 42. 3 straight negative plays, lost 22 yards on that possession, and now Fields punts it away for the Giants with Creighton waiting for it. And a late fair catch called by Creighton. And the Cowboys will have it at their own 32. We look back. Romo for the first points of the day, avoiding a sack and finding Tony Curtis for his 3rd touchdown of the year. Eli Manning and Jeremy Shockey answered. Manning had his hand hit as he let it go. Hamlin with an interception. Romo returned the favor with Jabril Wilson picking one off, and then Reuben Drones on 3rd and goal from the 1 stuffed it in. But now the Cowboys, with time on the clock and 2 timeouts left, start at their own 32, down by 4. Romo completes to Creighton, and Patrick Creighton gets smacked out of bounds by Michael Johnson, a gain of 8. Coming up, the Visa halftime report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy, scores and highlights from around the league. The Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with up to the second stats.
Well, I think this becomes a big defensive possession for the New York Giants. It seemed like all the emotion and momentum was behind them, but if they give up any points here, whether it's a touchdown or a field goal, it's going to take away from how they feel about this first half going in at halftime.
2nd down and 2. Romo fires and completes. Catch is made by Hurd. Gain of 9 and a 1st down. You know, so much was made about this Giants defense, Troy, allowing all those points. 80 points in the first 2 games against Dallas and Green Bay. Only 79 points allowed the next 6. And after that first drive by the Cowboys, they have clamped down on Dallas. Romo throws, completes to Owens. Madison had fallen down, and Terrell Owens just wrestled out of bounds, picked up 11 and a 1st down.
And the big thing is that for the most part, after these completions, the Dallas Cowboys have been able to get out of bounds and then stop the clock, preserving their 2 timeouts. You know, there's the route on the outside with Sam Madison, but, you know, this generally is where the Dallas Cowboys are pretty dangerous. Now, they go back and they huddle here, so it gives the Giants an opportunity defensively to huddle and then figure out what they want to do. But when they're in a no-huddle situation, they're so explosive, and they have so many skilled players that they put the defense on their heels.
From the 39 on 1st down, Romo throws, completes. Creighton. And Patrick Creighton picks up 9. Clock continues to run with 55 seconds left in the half. Previous 4 possessions for Dallas had netted 2 yards. This one different. 2nd and 1. And Romo pushes the pile forward. It depends on the spot. Trying to pick up the 1st down. And the clock is stopped with 40 seconds remaining. Where they marked Romo, it's awfully close. He could be inches shy, but we will watch Dallas spend their 2nd timeout and watch the chains come onto the field, called out there by Jeff Triplett.
And I think the other part of this is going back and then taking a look at the previous offensive possession by the New York Giants and the 2 sacks on Eli Manning. I mean, I felt that those were 2 balls that he could have gotten out. You're giving up over 20 yards of field position, which makes a huge difference here then at the end of the first half if you're the Dallas Cowboys trying to get into a position to come away with a field goal or even a touchdown.
Steve Spagnuolo, his defense turned it around almost literally at the halftime of their 3rd game of the year at Washington, down 17-3. It's like he flipped the switch. They came out, pitched a shutout in the 2nd half, and they haven't slowed down since. 3rd and inches. Dallas runs it. They may have to spend their final timeout. Third and inches. Romo throws, and waiting for it is Terrell Owens. 1st down, Dallas. A 10-yard completion.
Yeah, it was a fade stop on the outside, Joe, and when you throw the ball with the kind of timing that Tony Romo did on this one, there's not a lot you can do about it if you're Sam Madison. As you can tell, you know, he was engaged with Terrell Owens. He had help over the top with a safety, but because Terrell Owens knew when the ball would be released, he was able to come back and make the play. Terrell Owens knew that it was good coverage. He just knew there was nothing he could do about it.
This is where Romo earns his money. 5 for 5 on this drive. Still one timeout left. Pass complete to Creighton. Broken tackle, touchdown Dallas. Aaron Ross missed the tackle, and Patrick Creighton took care of the rest and scores his 5th touchdown of the season.
And that's a big touchdown, as I said, going in at halftime, being able to regain the lead. You know, when it looked like everything was going in the favor of the New York Giants, at least over the last quarter and a half.
Romo perfect on that drive. 6 for 6. Talks it over with his offensive coordinator, Jason Garrett. Steve Spagnuolo's defense takes a hit here at the end of the first half. 27 seconds left. Giants have 2 timeouts remaining, in case you're wondering.
Well, the Giants, they brought pressure, and when you do that, you're one-on-one on wide receivers, and Aaron Ross unable to make the tackle once the ball was completed to Patrick Creighton. So if you're going to bring pressure, then you've got to be pretty sure in your tackling on the back end of it, and they missed 2 tackles here, keeping Creighton from being able to score. You see the pressure inside. Dallas does a good job of picking it up. And the crossing routes are very difficult for these defensive backs then to be able to stop, but you just got to be able to make the tackle once they make the catch. Then on the other end, you got Terrell Owens, who was drawing the attention. Him and Sam Madison have been going at it all day long.
You talk about the Dallas offensive line picking it up, and when we talked to Jason Garrett early in the season, he said that may be the best part of our offense is the offensive line. It's a big group that stayed healthy all of last year, and they have stayed healthy so far this year. Big reason for the success of the Cowboys, as Bradshaw takes it on a couple of hops and gets it out just shy of the 35-yard line.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question, Joe, when you talk about the Cowboys offensively and what they've been able to accomplish. Terrell Owens, Jason Witten, Tony Romo, you know, those guys are the guys who draw the headlines, as is the case on every team, but you don't do it without an offensive line. And, you know, that was one of the areas that Jerry Jones was focused on this offseason. They signed Andre Girard at center to a long-term deal. They brought back Mark Colombo, and then they also went out and they signed Leonard Davis, and what initially looked to maybe be a weak spot for that team has turned into a real strength.
Yeah, he's having a Pro Bowl caliber year, Leonard Davis at right guard. Reminiscent of your great run with the Cowboys in the 90s, that terrific offensive line, and the Giants are willing, even if the crowd isn't, to sit on this score at the half, and now at the end of the play, penalty flags come in.
Tony, number 57 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I'll tell you, that takes the ball to midfield and could change the thinking. Now there's 12 seconds left. The Giants were willing to give the Cowboys a pass here at the end of the half. Giants have 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, now it clearly, I mean, it puts them in, you know, here you got the Giants who are willing to just run out the clock and go in with a 3-point deficit. And because of just not playing very smart, all of a sudden now they get a chance to, if they hit a completion with their timeouts, they could very easily have an opportunity for a field goal here before the end of the half.
That was Kevin Burnett. Guilty of that silly foul, and now Manning for Shockey. Wow, 6 seconds left. And now the Giants are in field goal range.
Well, it's unbelievable. I mean, now all of a sudden to capitalize here. Clearly they're going to be in field goal range. A good job of getting in behind Williams and then in front of the safety. And again, a good throw by Eli Manning. Can regain the momentum that they lost here before the end of the first half.
6 Dallas penalties in the half, 5 on defense, and none bigger than the one on Burnett. Now believe this or not, Lawrence Tynes was late getting onto the field, the kicker. And so the Giants have to spend a timeout.
Well, I'm not sure what Tynes was doing.
17-17 as we get ready for the start of the third quarter. Giants will start with the football. And our fantasy update. For the latest in fantasy stats, log on to foxsports.com or NFL.com. Romo's half. 2 touchdowns but an interception. 43 yards for Brandon Jacobs, and then a lot of him. A lot of Jeremy Shockey, who's taking oxygen now.
He's expecting another big half.
I guess. High hanging kick, and it's Bradshaw from around the 15-yard line, crosses the 30. 17-yard return. Carpenter on the tackle, and a penalty flag comes in late again, way after the play was over.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 29 of the kicking team. Blow to the face. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's Keith Davis, who was a special team standout for the Cowboys, and that's where the call came from. And the Cowboys have acted their way into trouble so far in this big game, in this divisional contest with the Giants.
Yeah, you get into a battle like this. I mean, obviously a divisional game and the emotions are high and everything else, but you got to be smart about it. You know, Dallas came into this game as one of the most penalized teams in the league, and they've continued with that here tonight.
Handoff is to Brandon Jacobs, and Jacobs picks up a couple. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, Wade Phillips talked about the need for the Cowboys to keep on fighting in this game. He also talked about the need to change the strategy for Jeremy Shockey, who had those 8 catches, 86 yards, and the touchdown. He said, we're going to double that guy on every single play. Meantime, Tom Coughlin has stressed to his team in the second half that Dallas Cowboys are a third-quarter team. It's critical for them to win the time of possession in this key quarter. Back to you.
Yeah, it is. It's an important point because the numbers are unbelievable for Tony Romo in the third quarter. 10 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 141 quarterback rating. That was Shockey who was circled. Manning's looking his way, and it's tipped. What a good play. And out in coverage, it was Aiken Adele.
Yeah, that was a good play by Adele because it looked initially there that there was a seam for Manning to be able to fit that ball in there. And so for Adele to be able to keep that from happening by laying out, you know, pretty good job.
Now 3rd down and 8. I'd like to know offensively what the game plan is for the Cowboys trying to get the ball in the hands of Jason Witten, which we'll talk about next time they get the football. But he has been shut out. Third down and 8. Pass for Shockey, and Shockey is brought down short of first down yardage. Kevin Burnett made a sure-handed tackle. It was a 6-yard gain, but short of the first down.
Yeah, and I know Eli would have liked to have been able to hold on to that just a second longer, you know, and maybe then Shockey's able to create a little bit more separation, but they brought pressure to his backside, so the ball had to come out. And DeMarcus Ware, one of those guys who are coming in on Manning, is down on the turf.
DeMarcus Ware getting attention from the training staff of the Cowboys. We'll take a break. 4th down when we come back. Just as we went to break, DeMarcus Ware popped up and jogged off the field, so he's okay. And Eagles will do what he does better than anybody in the history of the league, and that is down it inside the 20, which he does again. Fair catch called for after the 31-yard punt. Patrick Creighton hauled it in as they look at McKenzie on the sideline for the Giants. Cowboys ball. Eli Manning will watch with the rest of us as the Dallas Cowboys try and figure out a way. In particular, Jason Garrett tries to figure out a way to get the ball into the hands of Jason Witten, the Cowboys' leading receiver coming into the game. Handoff is to Julius Jones. Jabril Wilson can't bring him down initially, and Jones picks up 9. I mean, that's unbelievable that to this point, Not only has Tony Romo not completed a ball to Jason Witten, he's only thrown toward him one time.
Yeah, and I think part of it is that the New York Giants have done a pretty good job of bringing pressure, and so in order to try to block them up, Jason Witten then becomes a big part of providing that protection for Tony Romo.
Julius Jones on 2nd and 1 picks up a first down. Antonio Pierce, the middle linebacker, on the stop.
You know, I think what the Giants have done a good job of in this first half is that they didn't give up the big plays. I mean, you think back to that first game, Tony Romo only had 15 completions in that game, but yet he threw for his season high in terms of yards, 345 yards in that game on only 15 completions. That gives you a pretty good idea of some of the big plays that were created. He hasn't had those in this game so far.
Jones brought down in the backfield, ripped to the ground by Michael Strahan, a loss of 1.
With Michael Strahan on the backside, Jason Witten, who's going to try to cut him off, he just cannot get his helmet in front of him. And with Julius Jones running away, the only way to try to keep that block or make that block and keep Strahan from making the play is to be able to get clearly in front of him. And Witten was not able to do that.
Strahan, his 3rd tackle. He has a sack, a forced fumble in this game. 2nd down. Fasano's open. He makes the catch and hops out of bounds. It certainly looked like Dockery was trying to bait Romo into that throw, and Kevin Dockery couldn't get there for the Giants.
Well, there's no question. I mean, Romo had him open right from the beginning, and I think Romo knows he got away with one because Dockery was right there, and I'm shocked that he didn't make the play. I mean, he comes across there, got a good jump on the ball, but just not enough.
3rd down and 2 for Dallas from their own 35. Hand off to Julius Jones, an easy pickup of a first down to the 45-yard line. He got 10.
They were lucky Jabril Wilson was there to make a play because they were spread out pretty good, and if he's not able to make the tackle, Julius Jones would have been off and running. Watch the push inside here. You see Barry Cofield, he's on skates. And then Julius Jones hits it inside, but Jabril Wilson was the last line of defense. Otherwise, Jones was going all the way.
Blitz from the Giants, and it gets there. Julius Jones is ripped backwards by Kavika Mitchell. He came on a blitz and ran right into it, a loss of 1.
And Antonio Pierce, he's about ready to get called for an unsportsmanlike conduct as well. He took a shot late, only he didn't draw the flag. You know, there's Kareem McKenzie going in.
Starting right tackle for the Giants. So they'll take a look at him. It's 2nd down and 11. 5 of the 6 plays on this drive have been Julius Jones runs. Another blitz, passes low and caught. And that's the first of the day for Jason Witten. But it is a minimal gain of only 4. 3rd down coming up.
Well, you take a look at what they're doing here with the pressure. I mean, they're doing a great job of bringing blitzes inside. They come off the slot as well. And that's one thing that the Giants have continued to do throughout this game. They keep bringing guys, and that's part of Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator. That's part of what he brings. He was with the Philadelphia Eagles for 8 years as a linebackers coach. He likes to bring pressure, and they've brought a lot of it here tonight.
11 Giant blitzes in this game. It's 3rd and 7. Romo flushed out, moves, makes the throw, completes to Creighton. First down, Dallas. Making plays with his feet, that's what Tony Romo does. A completion of 15 yards and a conversion on 3rd and 7.
Well, and that then becomes the challenge, because if you do bring people and you're not able to get to Romo, it's almost impossible then for your coverage to be able to hold up, because he can buy time, and it gives those receivers more time then to find the open spots. You know, good accuracy on the move is what Tony Romo is able to do.
Antonio Pierce down on a knee. They stop the clock. Look at him. Off the field he comes. Dallas on the move in this tie game. Looking at Antonio Pierce on the sideline, like he may have been dinged, suffered a concussion or a blow to the head. It's first down for Dallas. After that 3rd and 7 conversion, Romo backpedaling. Owens is looking for a flag, doesn't get it. Tony Romo had completed 9 in a row before this.
Yeah, you got a chance there, but the route there, the way in which they ran it, didn't really give Terrell Owens much of an opportunity there to get open. They were one-on-one on the other side with Jason Witten, so one of the few opportunities that Romo might have had to go in his direction.
10th play of the drive, a toss to Julius Jones running right. Brought down by Fred Robbins, chasing it down from the backside. A loss of 1, 3rd and long coming up, and that means when it's 3rd and long, they have those 4 defensive end types along the defensive line for the New York Giants. Umenyiora, Strahan, Matthias Kiwanuka. Antonio Pierce comes back into the game, and Justin Tuck. Tuck with 7 sacks, Umenyiora with 8. Romo has time and has Creighton wide open, and Patrick Creighton with another big first down for Dallas to the 25.
You know, the Giants, they try to do a little twist inside with O.C. Umenyiora, and he's going to come around this way. The problem with that is it takes too long. Tony Romo's got time then to sit in the pocket and survey the field. And again, Patrick Creighton, who's very good as an inside receiver. He does a good job of finding the holes. Of course, that time it wasn't all that hard to find. There was nobody there even trying to cover him.
Third down conversion on this drive. Play action from Romo. Gonna go for T.O. Dropped it right into his hands. Touchdown.
Well, we've seen Sam Madison on Terrell Owens a lot tonight, and they're matched up one-on-one. Sam Madison tries to get his hands on Owens, and then once he misses, Owens just has too much speed, and Sam Madison can't run like he used to, and it's just no contest. If you're going to come up and get a jam on him, by gosh, you better get the jam, otherwise you're beat.
7th touchdown of the season for Terrell Owens, coming off a huge week in Philly. Was named a team captain. 10 catches, 174 yards. Tony Romo celebrates the touchdown. Sam Madison beaten for 25 yards, 24-17 Dallas. Terrell Owens is in year 2 of a 3-year, $25 million deal. He's been worth every penny for the Cowboys. Now has 20 touchdowns in 25 games with Dallas, 121 touchdowns in his career. The Cowboys are back on top by 7. But they've blown 3 leads in this game as Bradshaw takes it from the 15. Penalty flag comes in as Bradshaw is trying to break loose. Down the sideline, out of bounds, short of the end zone, but a flag is thrown on the return.
Holding number 89 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Backup tight end Kevin Boss. So Bradshaw with the 83-yard return. It's called back because of a hold. Troy has the arrow on Kevin Boss, who is called for the hold on Keith Davis. It eliminated an 83-yard return by Bradshaw. The Giants started their 17 with a run by Brandon Jacobs. And a good start to this drive, down by 7. Jacobs picks up 15.
One of the better holes that Jacobs had to run through on that play, off to the right side, just off tackle. A good push by that offensive line. They're doing a great job of moving the line of scrimmage and then also giving Eli Manning time to throw in protection. But there he is, and he gets out on the edge. And as we said, I mean, he does have power, but he's got a lot more speed and quickness than what he gets credit for.
Pretty good block out there on the edge by Guy Wimper, who's in at right tackle in place of Kareem McKenzie, going in for x-rays on his back. Now over the left side. And Brandon Jacobs picks up 5. By the way, we are without one of the officials. Jeff Seaman left with a hamstring injury, so everybody on this officials crew, they rotate. We are without an official deep down the middle of the field. Second down and 5. That's shocking.
That's Roy Williams on him.
And that's where Manning goes. Shockey gets 11. And for Jeremy Shockey, he is up over 100 yards on the day for the first time since 2005.
Well, here's the double team right here with Greg Ellis. He's going to try to run underneath any throw to the outside, but then the Giants, they come with the slant in behind him. So you see Roy Williams giving him a great deal of respect playing off. I guess he feels that if he gets up on Shockey because of Shockey's speed, he'll be able to run by him.
Shockey is only 1 catch shy of his career high. Pass is batted away by Terrence Newman in the direction of Amani Toomer. A look ahead to next week. The game's coming up here on Fox. The Giants will be at the Lions, the Panthers and Packers. The Packers, big winners today as they're 8-1. Redskins will be at the Dallas Cowboys or other regional action. There's the day for Brett Favre. His phenomenal season continues. 6th 300-yard game of the season. Here's Reuben Drones. On 2nd and 10, Drones picks up 5. Third down and 5 for the Giants, and we're already down 1 official, and now Jim Quirk, the umpire, gets hit hard on that last play by Roy Williams.
I tell you, it gets pretty physical in there. It's physical for these players. Heck, it's been physical for these umpires today.
The referee, Jeff Triplett, took a shot under the chin for Michael Strahan in the first half. Play clock is showing 0, and it's a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Absolutely no excuse for those types of mechanical errors to be happening, whether that's Eli not getting the play in time on the sidelines or then him not getting them to the line of scrimmage and getting the ball snapped. But, you know, there's no excuse for that to be occurring, especially when you're talking about playing at home.
And what a big penalty. It takes it from 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 10. They barely got that one away. Manning in trouble over the middle. Amani Toomer with a big catch on 3rd and 10. Picked up 23.
You know, you're right, Joe. They almost didn't get that one off before the clock went out either. And you got Amani Toomer, who, again, is able to get to the middle. And just a good throw right there off Kevin Burnett by Eli Manning, right in the hole. Right over Kevin Burnett, the linebacker, and in front of the safety. And what a big 3rd down conversion for the Giants.
Yeah, it looked like Burnett took 1 step up, and Manning went right over his head. with a 23-yard completion. Here's Jacobs. Boy, that's a big body that bangs it down to the 24. Let's go to Kurt Menefee for a game break.
All right, the Lions in a hole at Arizona. Kurt Warner finds the tight end Leonard Pope. Pope's second touchdown of the day. First ever two-touchdown game for the big fella. And the Lions are down 24-7 on the road at Arizona. Back to Joe and Troy.
You know, you go back and you take a look at that third down conversion that we just saw. I mean, just by converting that play, all of a sudden the Giants are immediately within field goal range and allows them to come away with points. Otherwise, they're having to punt the football. That's how critical third downs become.
Second down and 6.
It's okay.
Manning buying time. And ends up turning it into a play of 3 yards. Trying to wait as long as he could for somebody to spring open, and then goes forward for 3 and brings up a shorter third down.
Hey, he was able to buy himself some time. Looked like he might have had a shot there early to Jeremy Shockey working back towards him. You know, but when you get out to the sideline, and as a quarterback, you don't want to start throwing the ball back into the middle of the field. That's when a lot of defensive players get into the throwing lanes that you can't see.
Handoff is to Jacobs. Brandon Jacobs for the first down. They needed 3. Brandon Jacobs picks up 4.
You know, from that handoff, it didn't look like he was going to be able to get his shoulders squared enough in order to get going north and south to pick up this first down. You know, he's going laterally right there to try to find a crease, and then contact is made by Kevin Burnett. He's short of the first down there. But again, because of his size and power, he's able to run over Burnett and get enough for the first down.
Coming up in the final minute of the third quarter, Brandon Jacobs makes the cut. Gets it to the 11 and gets an ooh from the crowd after suffering the hit. A gain of 6.
Yeah, and watch Chris Snee, the right guard, 76. He comes around. Heck, he's running out there faster than what Brandon Jacobs is and does a good job. Then Roy Williams does what he does best.
Hits like that made Roy Williams a 4-time Pro Bowler. That's the hit that drew the ooh from the crowd. Second down and 4 with a play clock at 7. Jacobs again, trying to wear down this defense. And that'll do it for the third quarter. Jacobs picks up 2. It'll be third down and short again when we open up the fourth quarter here at Giant Stadium. Good game. Dallas, New York. 7-point lead for the Cowboys. Back after this from your local Fox station. Everybody loves New York City. And on the 11th of November, a beautiful day weather-wise, mid-40s, crystal clear blue skies all day, and a good game here in Jersey. Third down and 1 for New York. Ruben Drones in a tailback. Drones carries it right past the blitz and picks up a first down. First down Giants after a gain of 3 by Ruben Drones.
Well, Tom Coughlin was talking about Hedgecock here, talking about how he's a true fullback. I mean, they got pressure there, but he's at least able to stone Aiken Adele, which then allowed them to pick up the first down. A good job, because if he doesn't block him like he was able to, and Adele comes off that block, they're not able to pick up the first down as they did.
Hedgecock picked up off waivers from St. Louis, just signed a 5-year extension. Manning, end zone, incomplete. It was there for a moment for Amani Toomer. Terrence Newman broke it up.
Hey, it looked like Terrence Newman got a beat on that one all the way, and could have had an interception very easily. The play fake was actually very good inside. Everybody went with the fake. Amani Toomer And you know, Terrence Newman, he's a heck of a player. I mean, he's one of the better corners, in my opinion, in the league, but he just does not have a lot of interceptions. He doesn't make plays on the ball as well as what you would like, and that's one of the reasons why he's not yet made a Pro Bowl.
Second and goal. Handoff to Jacobs. Penalty flag comes in. Touchdown.
Holding, number 76 in the offense. 10-yard penalty. It's still second down.
That's Chris Snee, who is guilty of the hold, one of the better guards in the league, and the flag came in just as Jacobs pounded it into the end zone.
Well, let's take a look at it and see exactly what it was that the official saw. It's Roy Williams. He had his left hand there on the shoulder. And by all accounts, it looked like a good call.
So instead of a touchdown and the chance to tie, the ball is back at the 16-yard line where it's second and goal.
You know, the frustrating thing about those types of penalties was Roy Williams had ran himself out of the hole no matter what Chris Snee did. He wasn't going to make the play.
That's the second delay of game call.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
I mean, this is Eli Manning in his fourth year that's been flagged for delay of game twice during this possession. And while costly penalties really hurt Dallas in the first half, whether you consider the hold by Boss on that 83-yard return by Bradshaw at the beginning of this drive, or penalties such as this, the hold on Snee.
Well, there's just got to be more urgency. You got to get out of the huddle and get to the line of scrimmage and get the ball snapped. I mean, every one of these is going down to about 2 seconds on the play clock.
Trying to set up a screen, and it was nearly intercepted by Ratliff. Third down and goal, and the ball is back at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, you just kind of feel some of the air being taken out of this offensive group. I mean, after what they thought was a touchdown and then the hold on Chris Snee and then being pushed backwards because of the delay of game, and really haven't gotten away with a couple of plays that very easily could have been intercepted by the Cowboys.
15th play of this drive. Manning steps up, hits the Norris Moss, using his speed, but he is brought down for a 13-yard catch and run. It's fourth down. And Shockey's playing nice. He'll give DeMarcus Ware his helmet back. A wow from Wade Phillips. It looked for a moment like this game was about to be tied, and then the hold on Snee. I was saying the killer penalties on Dallas in the first half, and there have been killer penalties on the Giants here in the second half. 26-yard try. High snap, good hold. And it's 24-20. Snee guilty of a hold, took a touchdown off the board, and some frustration for head coach Tom Coughlin. The field goal makes it 24-20 Dallas. Cowboys here today trying to win their third straight over the Giants. Tony Romo about to head back to the field. That last Giant drive, a hold negated an 83-yard kickoff return. 2 delay of game calls, and then the Snee hold took the touchdown off the board. Miles Austin on the return, and Austin gets it out to the 30. And up here in the booth, the way we see it, this is a big possession here for Dallas and for that New York Giants defense.
I think so, yeah. I mean, the Giants obviously disappointed that they didn't come away with the touchdown on the last possession, but now I think this becomes critical for the Giants defensively. I mean, right now it's a one-possession game. If they allow the Cowboys to drive down and come away with a touchdown, now you're talking a two-possession game, and I just don't know right now if the Giants offensively can overcome that. And so, you know, this becomes critical in my opinion on this possession for the Giants defensively.
13 minutes left, starting from their own 30. Play action. Kiwanuka could not get a hold of Romo, and the pass for Fasano incomplete.
Even that. I mean, you've got Kiwanuka coming off the edge and Romo able to make him miss, and he's still able to put the ball, right where a place where Curtis can make the catch, or Fasano, excuse me. But he takes a pretty good lick, but he still, because of his athleticism and his confidence and his ability to put the ball where he wants to, it still could have been a very positive play for them.
What Romo has done the last 2 drives, only 1 incompletion, you just saw it. 2nd and 10, penalty flag on the play, and it's knocked away by Madison, and then he and Owens shove each other. There's a flag down, and it'll be hands to the face. Looks to be against the Giants, another Giant penalty. So instead of 3rd and 10.
Right in the pass. Underneath the hands to the face. Number 31 in the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And instead of 3rd and 10, it's an automatic first down because of this by the rookie Aaron Ross.
Yeah, and Patrick Creighton and the hand right there to the face. And, those are the types of plays that, end up getting you beat because, as you said, Joe, if that doesn't happen, then you're looking at 3rd and 10 and trying to get off the field defensively. But, one of the things that I'm continually impressed with by the Giants defensively is they're on one. Now, Terrell took advantage of that on the 1 touchdown, but they stick with it.
Marion Barber doing as much as he can, picks up a yard.
I think one of the reasons why the Giants continue to play that way, one-on-one for the most part outside, is because Steve Spagnuolo clearly recognizes that the best chance they have is to get pressure on Tony Romo. And the best chance they have to get pressure on Tony Romo is by bringing extra people, but knowing that if they do bring those extra people and they don't get there, now they're really exposing themselves on the outside.
2nd down and 9.
They're one-on-one here.
Owens and Madison again. Romo looks left, fires, and somehow slips it into Witten. There's about half a yard shy of a first down. Spagnuolo keeps bringing guys, and this one a perfect throw from Tony Romo right into the gut of Witten, who was well covered.
Well, you got that right. There's not a lot of room to fit this ball in. It's just a perfect pass. Right there, right in your stomach, right in the old breadbasket, as they say. You just can't defense that.
3rd down and a short 1. Barber breaks free. First down in midfield. Michael Johnson, the rookie safety, missed on a chance to bring Marion Barber down with a loss on the play.
Well, there's a long list of guys who have had chances to make tackles on Marion Barber, but have been unable to do that. Marion Barber leads the National Football League in terms of breaking tackles. If he had been able to make the tackle there, he keeps them from picking up the first down. But Marion Barber is just a very difficult back to get to the ground.
On first down, Romo down the field. Owens again. Big play, Cowboys. Touchdown, T.O.
Well, again, Tony Romo, you're going to see the time that this offensive line gives him to throw the football. They go with a 4-man rush there. And on the outside, it looked like they had Owens pretty well covered, but because of the time, he got in behind Jabril Wilson. There was a safety back there. The safety just did not stay with help to Terrell Owens in the middle of the field.
Another big play for this Cowboy offense, a 50-yard touchdown from Tony Romo. 122 career touchdowns for Terrell Owens. And that relationship of Romo and Terrell Owens continues to flourish. What a combination. Frustration for this Giants defense, $31-20. Terrell Owens had the big day last week against Philadelphia in his return. Mentioned 10 catches. He had only 5 in 2 games against the Eagles, his last team last year. And he is hot down there on the sideline. Jacked up about his day. 2 touchdowns. 28th career multiple touchdown day for Terrell Owens. Bradshaw on the return. Out across the 30 to the 32. Burnett on the stop. Now Eli Manning is back to the field while Owens continues to celebrate on the sideline. It's 31-20 Cowboys. Tony Romo's touchdown passes are getting longer as we go. The first one 15 yards. Next one to Creighton 20. The last 2 to Owens 25 yards, now 50 yards. 4 on the day for Tony Romo. 23 for the season. Manning hangs in and misses to Amani Toomer.
So you go back and take a look at the touchdown to Terrell Owens, and you're going to see Jason Witten here coming across the middle. And Michael Johnson here is what bid on Jason Witten. That's what opened up the lane. Because of the route that was being run, you've got Romo, who initially wanted to go to Witten. That's why Johnson jumped him. And then you've got Jabril Wilson one-on-one in coverage with Terrell Owens. Clearly the Giants don't want Wilson one-on-one with Owens. They thought he would have some help from Johnson.
Inside handoff to Brandon Jacobs. He's out to the 36, picked up 5. Burnett on the stop, and we'll see now, as the spotlight shines brightly on number 10 for the New York Giants, what Eli Manning is able to do with just over 10 minutes left and his team down by 11.
Yeah, and Eli Manning actually has played overall a pretty good game, but this isn't what the Giants are about. They're not a team that can match the kind of scoring that we're seeing right now from the Cowboys.
Manning steps up and down he goes. And the call is a sack that he went down prior to getting rid of it, and Tank Johnson, in his first day officially with the Cowboys in a game, makes the play.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's got some great athletic ability. Nobody's ever questioned what he's capable of doing on the field. You saw he's working against Snee. As soon as Manning steps up in the pocket, he spins off of that block and then is then able to make the sack.
Manning missed on that first throw, and it's just a 3 and out. And so Dallas up by 11, about to get it back, and Patrick Creighton calls for the fair catch. Terrell Owens is heating up on a chilly day at Giant Stadium. He is having fun. So are the Cowboys in this divisional battle, up by 11. Eli Manning can only hope that his defense comes up with a stop, which is what the Giants desperately need. Down by 11 with under 9.5 to play. Barber gets it on first down, trying to bounce it outside. Good play made out there. That was Jabril Wilson, the safety, up to make the stop. 2 big penalties really hurt the Giants. The hold there, which negated an 83-yard return. That was Kevin Boss. And then a hold on a apparent touchdown run by Brandon Jacobs by Chris Snee. Tom Coughlin came to the Giants preaching discipline. And this has always been one of the top penalized teams since he's been here. 2 big holding calls in this second half. Romo buys time, fires, and gets it to Owens. How do you stop that? Romo uses his legs, gets outside, avoids any sort of trouble on the pass rush, and then gets it to Terrell Owens.
Well, and you're going to see that Romo scrambling, but look at the catch right there with his hands. I mean, the ball in behind him. And Terrell Owens, pretty good basketball player as well, and right there to be able to make that type of catch with a ball thrown behind you with a defender on your shoulders, that's a great job by him.
Another 100-yard plus day for Terrell Owens as Marion Barber gets the handoff. Michael Strahan is yelling toward Jeff Triplett, the referee, looking for a flag, doesn't get it. Pierce on that last tackle.
Well, and this is when you begin to see Dallas just start imposing their will on opposing teams, whether it's the offensive line just to start wearing them down because of their sheer size and strength, or the skill players. I mean, you just can't hold up that many plays against a team that's as explosive as what Dallas is. That's why when the Giants had to take care of their opportunities, it's hurt them.
Strahan and Owens were yelling at each other from the two huddles prior to this completion of Marion Barber, who picks up a couple. Don't forget, this is a big day of football on Fox, and what follows our game is the OT with interviews, highlights, and the debut of the latest in the BCS standings. It's presented by Lowe's, the OT, right after football, right after this game here on Fox.
Well, to me, if the Giants are going to have any opportunity to get back in this game, they have got to make a stop here on this third down.
It's 3rd and 6. Out of the shotgun, Romo rolls, flips for Owens, incomplete. And now Colombo and Strahan get into it along the sideline, no flags thrown. Mark Colombo and Michael Strahan along the sideline in front of the Cowboys bench were going at it. Jeff Triplett broke it up. One last point about all these weapons you talk about with the Cowboys. They're hoping to get Terry Glenn back, who just adds another huge weapon if he can come back off 2 knee surgeries and be anywhere close to healthy.
Well, that's right. I mean, whether he can be the player he was last year or not, who knows if he even comes back. But a lot of people felt, me included, he was their best wide receiver a year ago.
Nose of the football down on the punt by McBriar, and a fair catch hauled in by R.W. McQuarters. Good punt by McBriar, 35 yards. No return, and the Giants have it at their own 9, down 11. A 2-game lead for the Dallas Cowboys and a series sweep over the Giants on the line here for Dallas. They lead by 11 with 6.5 to play. Washington lost today at home to Philadelphia. Philly trying to stay in it, now just a game under 500. Washington is at Dallas next week here on Fox. Not much in the second half from Eli Manning, who made a lot of good throws in the first half. And now starting at their own 9 are the Giants, down by 11. Blitz from Newman. Pass complete to Toomer. And Amani Toomer stretches out. Picked up 9. And now the hurry-up approach by the Giants. We've seen Eli Manning play well with the hurry-up offense. Canty came across.
Neutral zone infraction, number 99 of the defense. 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
Second one on Canty in this game, and a free first down for the Giants.
You know, another thing that hurts this offense for the Giants when they get into these situations, and really, you know, throughout an entire ball game, is not having Steve Smith. You know, I mean, he went down earlier in the season, and he was coming along, but not really having that true third wide receiver that can create some problems.
Brandon Jacobs gets it on first down and carries it out just shy of the 25. We mentioned Kareem McKenzie left with a back contusion. He's back in there at right tackle for the Giants as Eli Manning gets his team right back to the line. 2nd and 8. Four-man rush over the middle. Shockey cannot hang on. Pass a little behind him. Hamlin was defending for the Cowboys, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, and the one thing that has been pretty consistent all year long with the Giants is they just don't get a lot of big plays. And you know, you look at this group, Jeremy Shockey probably is about the only guy who's capable of even getting down the field with any kind of speed. We know Amani Toomer, he's banged up. That's not what, Amani Toomer, that's not what he does. And then Plexico Burris with his ankle. So trying to get big chunks in situations like this becomes very difficult for this team.
3rd down and 8. Shockey with the catch. Shockey with a big first down for the Giants, keeping their hopes alive. And a big day for Shockey, as we said, his first 100-yard receiving game since 2005. Tied a career high with 11 catches. Manning steps up and hits. Pass is complete to Kevin Boss. That's his first catch of the year.
That was a good route. That's the one area of the field where the Giants have had some success tonight, is running that corner route, that time with Boss. We've seen him throw it to Shockey a couple times as well.
Pass over the middle for Brandon Jacobs. Jacobs lunges forward and picks up a first down. Burnett on the stop, 10 more yards. Handoff to Jacobs. He's just inside the 32. Burnett again on the tackle, a gain of 5. Clock continues to run, and just so you know, the Giants have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Shockey's still on the sideline. Pressure on Manning, who just gets rid of it. The pass was tipped, and it's Burnett again. He's been busy. 3rd and 5.
Yeah, Burnett's gotten a lot of playing time here today. He's the linebacker who comes in when they go nickel and dime personnel. And here he is on the blitz, and he's able to get to Eli, and that's what forces Eli to get rid of the football a little bit earlier than what he wanted to. You know, the Giants clearly are trying to get it into the end zone, and then at the same time trying to preserve as much time on the clock, knowing that they're going to need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, or 2 touchdowns if that fails.
3rd down and 5, and the play clock again.
Delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
How can this continue to happen?
It's just, there's no excuse for it, and I've always believed that that's on the quarterback. I mean, you got to, sometimes there's a play that doesn't get in on time, but these plays, it seems to me, are getting in plenty of time. There's just no urgency getting to the line of scrimmage and getting the ball snapped. I mean, everybody's walking around, and they have been for most of the game.
Makes it 3rd and 10. Manning hits drones.
Well, he's got to get out of bounds. Another mistake on his part.
The game clock continues to run. Meanwhile, it's become 4th down.
Well, Eli needs to recognize that it is 4th down and know that he's got to get the necessary yardage in order to pick up this first down.
4th down and 4. Clock running. Quick setup and throw. Pass incomplete. And the Cowboys sideline celebrates as the defense holds. A big part of that last effort by this Giants offense, the delay of game yet again, that marched them 5 yards back. And they end up 4 yards short of a first down.
Well, here it is, because they're rushed and it's 4th down, they try to run the slant route, and I'm not sure even with a better throw that they had a chance of completing this one and picking it up. Saw Anthony Henry, he undercut it.
And so Manning now, and this Giants offense guilty of 3 delay of games here at home. As Julius Jones carries it and loses 2. Kiwanuka on the stop, and the Giants will spend their first time out.
just think if you look at this Giants team and going back over the last several years that, for the most part, whenever they've gotten into big, meaningful games, the team just has not played real well. You go back 2 years ago at the midway point, they play at Seattle, a game that they could have won, but failed to win. Then they did not finish up real strong that year, and then last year when they lost to Chicago at home, and that began the downward spiral, which led to an 8-8 season. And I know this is a disappointing game for them here tonight, but I guess the big question is going to be, how are they going to respond? I mean, they thought that they were going to play big in this game. They did not. And how now will they come off of this loss and bounce back next week? And I believe they play at Detroit next week. But you can't let one loss then turn into 2 and 3 and 4 like what happened to them a year ago.
Under 3 minutes to play, 2nd down and 13. Barber is in a tailback. Looked like Colombo left too early.
False start. Number 75 in the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
The combination of Tony Romo and Terrell Owens, so good in this second half. 25-yard touchdown, a 50-yard touchdown, and another huge day for number 81. And a guy who, as you said, Troy, just never stopped working on a play, and that works well with a quarterback who's always sliding around and trying to find somewhere to go with the ball. 94 yards in the second half. Barber on 2nd down. Penalty flag comes in. Barber picks up those 5 yards plus 5 more, a 10-yard carry, but it's a hold against Dallas.
10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Oliver Hoyt, the fullback.
I think, Joe, when you talk about the Cowboys and Tony Romo playing and Terrell Owens here in the second half, Jason Garrett there, the offensive coordinator, I think he said it best. And I asked him the other day, I said, what is it about this offense that you're most proud of? And there's a lot of things to be proud of. I mean, this is a great offensive group. But what he said was, regardless of what happens in a game, whether we get off to a good start or we don't get off to a good start or we have some bad things that happen, turnovers, the guys keep playing. And he preaches that to this team each and every day. And we've seen that every week. I mean, the games that we've done, the games that we've not done, we've seen Dallas get off to slow starts. But it seems like at some point, because they just keep playing, they eventually put it together, and they're just too much.
2nd down and 28. Barber bouncing it to the outside. Kiwanuka on the stop. A gain of 3, and we came on the air talking about Eli Manning and this being an opportunity to validate his position here. And the draft day trade that brought him here to the Giants, another big game. And while we saw a very solid first half, when it mattered most here in the second half, we've had the delay of game calls, 3 of them in this game. We've seen almost a lackadaisical approach by this offense, which is under his guidance, getting to the line, just getting plays on.
Yeah, I think you make a great point. I think if you just look at the numbers, the statistics, when this game's over, it's going to tell an entirely different picture from the one that was actually played.
Another flag comes in. This has been a flag fest here at Giant Stadium today. It was a 5-yard carry. We'll get the call from Jeff Triplett, who's been busy.
Personal foul, face mask, number 97 in the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Tony Romo is in his first full year as the starter for the Dallas Cowboys. Took over midway through last season. A free agent from Eastern Illinois. And in this matchup, this big game in the NFC East, Tony Romo was the better quarterback today. Is putting a stamp on a better start to a career, certainly than his counterpart in today's game. Just signed a big contract, always has a smile on his face. Had a tremendous second half, and a guy who deserves a lot of credit for his development is the guy who's no longer here, Bill Parcells, who had enough power in the Cowboy organization to let Romo baste a little bit and just figure things out, gradually get his feet underneath him. And when he took over last year, he was ready, and he's about to go to 14-5 as a starter in the NFL.
Yeah, and I think that when you talk about Bill Parcells and what he's meant to Tony Romo, then you've got to talk about Bill Parcells and what he's meant to this entire team, because Tony Romo wouldn't be doing what he's doing if it weren't for the players that Parcells put around him. I mean, and he assembled a heck of a roster. And, to go back to what you said about Eli Manning, in some ways it's unfair to compare him with Tony Romo because you're doing it with a different cast of players.
Barber carries it. The Giants are out of timeouts. That'll bring up third down.
But I think in today's game, when you consider the delay of game penalties, the sacks that were unnecessary that hurt your ball club, there's a lot of ways to run your football team and manage your team that gives yourself a chance to win games. And I don't think that Eli Manning, obviously there were a lot of things here that happened that kept them from winning this game, but there's certainly a lot of areas that need to get better.
2-minute warning here at Giant Stadium. Dallas cruising toward win number 8. Jeremy Shockey had a big day, to say the least. 11 catches, ties a career high. There's been a lot of Romo, a lot of Terrell Owens, a lot of Patrick Creighton. Not much Jason Witten today. But on third down, brought down shy of a first down, is Marion Barber. Since the NFL went to a 16-game schedule in '78, we look at the best starts by head coaches in their first year with a team. Seifert in '89, Switzer with the Cowboys in '94, Steve Mariucci with San Francisco in '97, and now Wade Phillips here in 2007 is a minute 28 away from an 8-1 start.
And I think the thing worth noting on all of them is they all took over pretty good football teams. Maybe all of them were playoff teams the year before.
Well, Bill Walsh certainly handed over a good team.
Yeah, the only one I'm thinking of is Mariucci when he took over the 49ers. They were a playoff team the year before as well. So, yeah, every one of those coaches took over what was a playoff team the previous year.
So you're saying Switzer had a good team to take over?
I'd say they all had good teams to take over.
Upcoming schedule for the Giants. They are at Detroit, as Troy said, next week. Detroit, meanwhile, is getting pounded out in the desert. And so that 6-2 start for Detroit, they have a hiccup today. And they've got Minnesota at Chicago, at Philly. Middle of December, Washington. Punt is drilled right out of bounds as McBriar ends up on his back. Meanwhile, Wade Phillips and the Dallas Cowboys have a home date against Washington, which we'll have for you here on Fox. They're at home against Washington, at home against the Jets, at home against Green Bay, a big one on Thursday, November 29th. Then they're at Detroit, at home against Philly, at Carolina, at Washington.
Well, and I would tell you, Joe, I mean, I don't think there's anybody in Dallas's class in the NFC. Now, time will tell with Green Bay, but just looking at those two teams, haven't had a chance to do both of those teams, I think Dallas is in a class by itself. And I even think when people start talking about the Big Two in the NFL, I'm not so sure that the Big Two isn't New England and Dallas. I mean, even though Dallas hasn't played Indianapolis, I think Dallas is pretty good.
Over the middle is Shockey. Shockey with his 12th catch, that's a new career high. And he takes it out to the 47-yard line. There was a meeting earlier in the year in Dallas when the New England Patriots and Randy Moss showed exactly how good they are. 48-27 was the final in favor of the Patriots. Manning has the ball stripped away. And Snee is able to fall back on top of it. So Manning unable to feel the presence of Ellis around him. It was Greg Ellis who knocked it away. Snee got back on top of it. And by the way, Randy Moss and the Patriots, Moss 924 receiving yards already. And number one in the NFL with 12 touchdowns. New England with their bye week this week. Manning airs it out, and Burris turns around late. It's picked off. Intercepted by Pat Watkins. And that's how this game, maybe fittingly, comes to a close.